स्वीट पोटैटो खाइछु स्वीट पोटैटो खाइछु कि बाबा को आनी खाइछु सब तो दे देउछि और 20 टका
Yeah, online students just can go and can share your feedback. Okay, this link will be disabled after half an hour. So you have the time now. Make sure everyone share your feedbacks, any issues, any concerns. So kindly mention in the feedback form. Okay. So on regular basis, we will be taking the feedback from you. So try to be open and share your concerns, feedback, anything you are expecting, any suggestions to improve the standard quality of your sessions. Okay. So with your feedback, the management will check it and they will review your feedbacks. Okay. If you have any concerns and issues, they will sort it out.
ଏଇଟା ଖାଉନୁ ସେଟା କରୁଛୁ ଏତେ କଥା
ଦୁଃଖ ସୁଖ ଆମେ କିଛି ହବୁନି ତମ ସାଙ୍ଗ କଣ କଥା ହେଲେ ମୁଁ ଯାଉଛି ତମକୁ ପାଟି ସବୁବେଳେ ମୋ ଉପରେ କାହିଁ ସିନ୍ଦୁଛ ମୋ କଥା ମୁଁ ବୁଝିଲି ତମ ଉପରକୁ ଗଲେ ତମେ କହିବ ମୋ କଥା ମୁଁ ଶୁଣେ ମୋ କାମ ମତେ ନା ମୋ କର୍ତ୍ତବ୍ୟ ମତେ ମୁଁ ତିଆରି ନା ମତେ ତମେ ତିଆରି
Okay, so yes. Now here I said about what is DJANGO form is. Yes, okay. A DJANGO form. See here, I said what is a DJANGO form is. Yeah, online students, just listen here. So a DJANGO form is a class or a DJANGO form, okay, is an interface, is a user interface, okay, where, so client input what here? Data. A DJANGO form is a user interface where client input what here? Data and validate. So validate what here? This data. Validate this data. Validate this data. See here, a DJANGO form is a user interface where client input data, validate this data and send it to which one? Server. Send it to server or send it to which one here? View. Server means what here? View. So what is a DJANGO form is a user interface. It is a user interface where the client input what? Data. Client input data, validate this data and send it to what here? Server. Server is nothing but what here? View. It will send it to the server. Server is nothing but view. And it will send this server in encrypted format. It will send this data in which format? Encrypted format. Means always the data sender using a DJANGO form is sent what? Securely. Always the data sent because that is what the advantage of DJANGO forms compared to what HTML forms. When you're talking about HTML forms where you send the data as a raw, okay, but when it comes to the DJANGO forms, the data is not sent as what? Raw, but it is sent in encrypted format. But I'll tell you how the data is sent in what? Encrypted format. So encryption is nothing but converting plain text into what? Ciphertext. And decryption is nothing but converting ciphertext into what? Plain text, right? But whenever you are sending data from DJANGO form, it is always send data in which format? Encrypted format. Encrypted format, right? So a DJANGO form is render. I said it is a class. DJANGO form is what here? Class. DJANGO form is embedded within a DJANGO form is embedded within what? Template. It is embedded within HTML. You are creating a DJANGO form. What is a DJANGO form? Is a class. It is a class, right? But actually user interface, you are creating it by using what? HTML. This is your UI. This is your user interface. Now in this, I want to create one form. In this, I want to create one form. Okay, how you are creating this form? Using what? DJANGO forms. But DJANGO form is what here? Class. Now can you insert a class? Insert. Can you create object and insert a template? No. Getting on not. So how can you insert? You are rendering this DJANGO form class as an HTML and you are inserting into what? Template. You are inserting this DJANGO form inside what? Template. So that's the reason I said here DJANGO form is embedded within what? Template. It is a form, but it is a class, right? Can you insert a class object inside a template? No. So what you have to do is you have to convert this DJANGO template class object into what? HTML. And it is done by which one? DJANGO template language. It is done by DJANGO template language. And not only that, it is done by which one? A render. You have a render, right? Rendering is nothing but converting. Rendering is nothing but converting which code? Python code into what? HTML, and generating what? HTTP response. It means you are creating a form object, but for every form object, you should create one HTML form. But that is done by which function? Render function. And embedded within what? HTML. Embedded within HTML. Not only that, see, when you open the form, can you see the form inside the browser or not? Yes. But when you see this form also, you can see HTML code related with this particular form. But it also provide input validations. Generally, if you want to do some validations, you do validations by using what? JavaScript. But you can do the input validations directly in which form? DJANGO form, because it is a class. When I'm saying a class, what class contain? Variables and methods. Generally, methods used to operate what? Variables. Methods are used to operate what? Variables. What variables contain? Data. Now, can you manipulate the data available within the form using what? Methods. It means you don't require to write any code in what? JavaScript. Everything you can write in what? Python. Everything you can write in what? Python. See, it is class. You know class. What is a class is? Collection of variables and methods. Class is encapsulated with variables and methods. Variables hold what? Data. Methods operate on that data. Now, DJANGO form is a collection of what? Variables and methods. So each variable is called one field. Each variable is called as one field. Input field. Each variable is called as one input field. Now you want to perform certain operations on that input fields. Then what do you do it? You write some methods. You write some methods. Now you want to insert data into a database. Suppose you want to insert the data into what? Database. You write certain methods within what? DJANGO form to insert the data into what? Database. All these operations you can put inside what? Form. So developing form becomes what? Easy. Suppose you want the same form in multiple templates. You want one form in multiple templates. Then will you design the same form again and again? Huh? No. So form is a reusable. Class is reusable or not? Yes. Using one class, you can create how many objects? Using one class, you can create how many objects? More than one object. It means once you develop a class, that can be used either in one template or more than one template. You don't require to design the same form again and you don't require to design the same form again and again. Suppose I have a 10 templates. In all the 10 templates, I want the same form. In all the templates, all 10 templates, I want the same form. If it is HTML, you need to design the same form again and again. You don't require to design the same form again and again. What do you do it? You develop as a form and you insert either in one template or more than one template. Getting or not? Okay. So what is the advantage of DJANGO forms? So what is a form is where it is a user. What is a form is? It is a user interface. Form is a user interface where client input what? Data, fill the data and validate this data and send it to what? View. So that view performs certain operations. View performs certain operations. Now, when it comes to the DJANGO forms, what is the advantage? What is the advantage of DJANGO forms? What is the advantage of DJANGO forms? Now you understood this definition. Huh? What is a DJANGO form? Is a class. It is a class. It is a class or it is a data type. Form is a class. Form is a data type. Form is a module. Form is a module. Form is a module which contain what? DJANGO forms, right? So a DJANGO form is a class. A DJANGO form is a user interface where client input data, validate this data and send it to what? View. And DJANGO form is embedded within template or what? HTML. You are creating a form. You are not creating what? Template. Always the client interact with the application using what? Template. So where you are inserting this form within the template, you are inserting this form within the template. Understood? You are creating what? Form. You are creating form. Okay. But user interface always you create it using what? HTML. Then this form has to be inserted within what? HTML. You have to render this form within the HTML. Understood? So what is the advantage of using a Django forms compared to which one? HTML. Yes, just now I said you. Just now I said you. The first one is. Tell me here. What is the first one is? Just now I said no. What is the first one is? Reusability. First one is what? Reusability, and second one is security. Reusability, and one more is what? Security. Then any more else? Reusability. It means once you develop a form that can be used either one time or what? More than one time. Okay, reusability and what? Security. Anything else? I said Django form is a class. It contains the variables and methods. Methods are used for handling. Methods are used for handling what? Data. Methods are used for handling data or validating data. Is nothing but simplifying. Simplifying what? Simplifying. Simplifying which one? Validations. Simplifying data validations, and simplifying. Okay, simplified data validations and simplifying data what here? Handling. Data validations and data handling. Data validations and data handling. Okay, so reusability, security, simplifying data validations, and simplifying data handling, and rendering. Okay, rendering. Okay, rendering. So rendering into what here? HTML. It means you don't require to write code in what? HTML. This code will be converted automatically into what? HTML. You write a form class, that code is automatically converted into what? HTML. Now you don't require to write raw HTML. You are trying to write in which language? Python language. So reusability, security, simplifying data validations, and simplifying data handling. I'm saying simplifying data handling. What is the meaning of this is whatever data you insert within form, you want to insert that data into model. You want to insert that data into what? Model. You want to update the model. You want to delete from model. So data handling becomes what? Easy. And not only that, you want to develop a form by using a model. You want to develop a form by using which one? Model. Then you can develop a form using the fields of what? Model. So developing user interface also becomes what? Easy. Getting on. So once you develop a form that can be used either in one template or more than one template, and the data which you put inside a form, it is sent securely. And simplifying data validations, it means you write a code within the form to validate whether this data input within the form is valid or invalid. So there are different types of validators are there. Form provide two types of validators. Now form is having built-in validators, and you can also build your own validators. Form is having built-in validators, and you can also build your own validators. For example, you have an email validation, you have a date validation, you have a time validation, maximum value validation, minimum value validation. Now these are what? Now value required. All these are what? Built-in. These are called built-in. Apart from that, I can also build my own validations. Apart from that, I can build my own validations. Validations, whether to find whether input data is correct or not. That you call it as which one? Validations. I say no. Django reduce the code. That is what you learn in the beginning, right? Okay. So Python is easy because less coding, right? Less coding means you don't write a lot of code. So everything is provided by whom? Python only. Everything is provided by Django. You should know which one should be used when. Then developing your application becomes what? Easy. Anyway, we'll discuss this. There are different types of forms are there. There are two types of forms are there. One is a generic form and one more is what? Model form. Generic form, model form. Model form is bind with what? Model. Model form is bind with what? Model means using model form, I can do directly operations on what? Model. You don't require to write any code. You don't require to write any code. With a single line, you can insert the data, you can update the data, you can delete the data with a single line. That is the advantage of which one? Forms. So it simplifies data manipulation, data handling, data validations, and providing what? Secure. We'll see all this. Not today, but we'll see tomorrow, right? So we'll stop it here and we'll continue tomorrow this. Right. No, not required because you are not a fresher, right? You are not a fresher. You are not a fresher, right? Not required. CRT is not required.